Hello everybody, I am Jared Ross, the Genie Vlogger, and welcome back to another Professional Genealogist Reacts. On today's video, I will be reacting to our family DNA test was shocking, especially our baby's results, by that Brazilian couple. I am not at all familiar with this channel. I took a quick look, and from what I can see, they are a couple from Brazil who've been living in New York for I think about like 18 years or so from what I saw, but knowing that they are from Brazil, we can kind of just make the presumption of what they're going to get in the terms of, probably going to see a good mixture of European and then obviously going to see some indigenous American, most specifically South American indigenous. I couldn't tell where they tested. My hope is that they tested through MyHeritage, because MyHeritage is a company that is known to have a large South American representation within their database. And that's especially important for DNA matching and people that want to actually build their family trees and truly learn their ancestry beyond just a generic, oh, this population group and that population group. So if they did test through MyHeritage, hopefully they'll talk about the DNA matches as well, and maybe even mention, what their DNA match list looks like, because that could give you an idea of how strong their database is if you also come from maybe a recent Brazilian or even just generally South American ancestry. With all that said, let's just go ahead and jump on into it.
So we are going to find out our oranges, where we came from.
Yeah, well, I feel like you already have an idea because you already have a last name.
Italian, but that's the only thing that I know it will show.
But I know you already know the place where your ancestry was.
Reggio Emilia is the place where my grandma came from, refugee from Italy to Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
And if this is her grandmother, then we are looking at about 25%. But knowing how these admixture results can often be a little bit off and can sometimes give you things that you're not expecting or maybe misread things, even though we're expecting about 25% Italian, we may see that coming in as general other things other than Italian that may be Southern European or possibly even North African, Mediterranean related, because there's a lot of population flow from Italy to different areas of Southern Europe, as well as throughout the Mediterranean and North Africa. So those are all big possibilities if we're looking at a grandmother of Italian ancestry. But then obviously we'll need to see what else she comes from to get an idea of the full picture, but we should see about 25% of DNA that we could say represents the Italian. But then again, we also don't know, would her grandmother be considered fully Italian, or was maybe her grandmother mostly Italian and she had a grandparent that was from Greece or something like that. So that's always a question with doing this kind of stuff.
I know it's the Italian thing, but I don't know also how much of it I got. I mean, I have the last name, yes, but how much is in my blood?
I always wanted to, because I remember your family saying like, oh, we're Italians and this and that. I was like, well, where's my family from? And then I remember my mom a long time ago saying that we had, like, her great-great-grandfather was German. I spoke to my father because I was like, hey, Dad, my mom used to say that her side of family has German, but how about your family? And then he was like, oh, I'm not sure, but I do think there's a big possibility of half of your heritage being European. So I know it could be European. I know there is some
European from, you said, Portugal and Spain.
And Spain.
That was one thing I did not mention, is that a lot of Brazilians also get percentages of African, although I find it can vary a lot. So depending on where they are in Brazil, I think there are some people that sometimes get a much higher skew of African results versus the European, and then there are some people that get a very much higher skew of the indigenous American. But my guess is for both of them, we're going to see all three. We're going to see African, we're going to see indigenous American, and we're going to see European. But with the European, I think we'll see a much bigger mixture of things.
I'm sure there's some African in it, and I think you probably have
African. I feel like my mom's side could have an African in it.
When I moved to America, we used to live in a place where there was an Indian community. So many Indians around our building, and I'm like, Anna, I think I just saw a guy exactly like my grandpa.
They looked a lot like your grandpa, yeah.
And now there is so many people on the streets that I see sometimes that are Indian that remind me of my grandpa. So it could be some Indian too.
So we're gonna find out, because we got MyHeritage DNA kits, and we all gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Junior's gonna do it. And he's gonna do it.
And Julie's no.
Okay, so they are actually doing a DNA test on the baby, which in my opinion is kind of pointless because the baby just has 50% of her DNA, 50% of his DNA. And so really all they're seeing is just, well, how is our mixture going to look in terms of, you know, this, which I guess is kind of interesting maybe for them as parents to be like, you know, what did the baby get from me? But yeah, I guess from a genealogical standpoint, it's like, well, that's kind of a waste of a DNA test.
I am curious about us, but I think the last one's we're gonna open is gonna be a Hickey because I really want to know how much he got of each.
Okay, so.
Okay, I would say I have maybe 30% Italian in my blood.
I think you have more.
More? I think so too, but I don't want to be wrong because
25%.
if you find out we're brothers and sisters.
I mean, maybe 30%, but that's
just like a soap
the
opera.
real high end.
It was a big drama. Oh no, we're siblings, we can't be together.
No.
Luisa, ready to explore your ethnicity? Okay, go.
Breathe.
Let's
Close your
go.
eyes.
I think
It's a video, don't make her close her eyes.
You are.
Ooh. How cool is it? I saw that already.
Me too.
Wow, Anna. Wow.
I mean, I didn't see. I just saw the number going up.
You didn't see the second one. Wait. It's still showing. What? I'm impressed. What?
Stop
What is
it.
this even mean?
I think they forgot the whole part about telling the people that are watching.
Stop it.
What? Oh my god,
I
no
thought
way!
That it was the first one, right?
Wait, it's almost done. Oh, I know. Whoa, so you're 49.2% something.
Italian.
24.4% something else. 11.1% something.
Just
8.9
read it.
something,
Just tell us what it actually is.
6.4, all other ethnicities.
Okay.
So the first one, you are
49% Italian.
49.2% Italian. Almost 50%.
Whoa. And you
crazy.
said it. And
I
That's-
said like 50%.
I mean, that's a lot. That's the equivalent of basically a parent being fully Italian. So it might be more than just the one grandparent. Obviously, a possibility that it's coming from both sides, where maybe she has a grandparent on one side and a grandparent on the other and didn't realize that the other one was Italian too, or I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty interesting to get that large of a reading. But I will say, MyHeritage, as great as their DNA matching and all that stuff is, their admixtures are notorious for being the most off of what people know of their family trees and the most off of the results that people will get with the other sites. So a lot of people find the results are not that high quality. So there is also that possibility that it is just through a grandparent and that there's just some really weird stuff going on here that's making it way higher than it should be. It is surprising if she doesn't know that one of her parents is almost completely Italian and she's getting this high of a reading. It's very interesting.
24.4% is Balkan, which is Romania, Serbia, Bulgaria. So you have Bulgarian. Oh, he will come.
Yeah. You want to go there?
Yeah.
Right? I think I'm going to be so Italian now that I am so
Are they going to
Italian.
continue with hers?
Okay.
So let's keep on.
Okay,
And then
good.
you are 11.
Okay, so let's kind of just jump into it real quick. 49.2% Italian, like I said already, that's basically a parent. 24.4% Balkan, a grandparent. 11.1% Iberian, that's the equivalent of a great-grandparent, but the thing with the Iberian is that is expected with a Brazilian ancestry just because of the history. Granted, other European obviously is part of that history as well. And then the 8.9% North and West European, and then we see that there's 4 more ethnicities for the 6.4%, which seem to be some sort of indigenous American in South America, sub-Saharan African in Benin and Togo, and then North African as well, which all kind of makes sense both with just being Brazilian, but also it makes sense with kind of what she knows in terms of the North African tying into Italian. But based on the fact that she is getting the South American indigenous and the sub-Saharan African, I think that's pretty indicative that she's got some lines tracing back pretty deep into Brazil's history, but it'll be interesting to see if he has something similar to hers. I remember doing other videos on Brazilian ancestry, and I remember Italian coming up and a bunch of people talking about that there is a large population of Italians who went to Brazil. So I do wonder if maybe that has any part of it. This is kind of a very interesting admixture, but definitely seems to show she has a much heavier European admixture, but the Balkan, I think that's also kind of interesting at a grandparent sort of level. So, yeah.
1% Iberian, which
But
is
it says
Spain.
Spain.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
You see, I think I said I mentioned Spain before, didn't I?
For me, yeah.
I think so. I mean, European, I said, but you are also 8.9% North and West European, which
Germany,
is...
Austria.
Look at that.
Yeah.
You lived in Austria. Did you feel like that was home?
No.
So you...
Northwestern European, I feel like, is not quite as into Austria. Like, Austria is like right outside of that. Like, I mean, I guess you can even see in the picture Austria is kind of just right outside of that in a sense. But I feel like Northwestern European should be more like covering, you know, Northwestern Europe. But I guess they do call it North and West European. But yeah, I mean, I would cover Scandinavia and Ireland, Scotland, England, Wales, all of that.
You are like 6.4% of Tunisian, Morocco, Algeria, Libya, Egypt, and Cameroon.
Look, in Brazil, and like here too, look. Brazil,
Yeah, you gotta click the 4 more
Yes.
ethnicities.
Let's see my...
So we're not going to get to see the smaller percentages, unfortunately. So I don't know. By the length that's left of this video, I get the feeling that we're probably not going to see DNA matches, unfortunately, either.
Junior is... What?
What happened?
Oh,
What? Am I what?
Mostly Iberian.
okay.
What?
Wait, it's still going. Wait.
Tell me the first one.
You were 56.9% of something.
56.
0.9.
That's almost everything.
This is so cool.
Is it much
Okay.
different than yours?
Actually, I mean, it's different, but
I'm European, I know.
oh, look, yours is big. Okay, so you are 56.9% Iberian.
Iberian?
You don't know what Iberian is?
I don't know. It's like it's what you are now.
It's Spain and close to Portugal too.
I'm 56% Iberian.
It's Spain, baby.
So
You're
it's-
so Hispanic. Whoa, look at you.
Wait.
Hot.
So
Spain.
it shows Spain here only?
When
Yeah.
it was small, it shows Portugal
But
too.
mainly Spain.
Mainly Spain, I
Am I?
guess. But there's some Portugal. I'm sure there's some.
You see, I always thought I was like more like a Spanish dancer. And I got booked as Spanish characters
Okay.
on TV and everything.
So you are 12.1% North African. You actually said that.
I said it
right?
in Africa.
And the North African also makes a lot of sense with the Iberian too, just with the Umayyad Caliphate and all of the stuff with the Reconquista and a lot of history tracing back over 1,000 years there. So definitely makes sense that he has the North African. Although I can't remember if he said that he was expecting North African because he had some sort of like North African ancestry he'd heard about or something like that. But at the percentage he's getting, I would wonder, does he know of something, or is there an actual North African ancestor in his ancestry, or is this just something kind of otherwise going on in the results?
North African where?
Morocco, Algeria, Libya, Egypt. I have Egypt.
And Tunisia.
And Tunisia.
Wow.
But look how different from 56 to
12.
This is really.
So Spanish is really strong in my
You're
blood.
also Italian. 11%.
11% Italian?
Yes.
No way.
Yes.
You were what, 49? So I'm very good compared to you. Hello. I might need the Italian last name.
We have to go to Italy to meet our relatives.
That's why Henrique is Luis Teixeira is Portuguese and also Spanish.
10.2% Mesoamerican and Andean, which is here.
South American,
Guatemala,
basically.
Costa Rica, Ecuador, Bolivia, Paraguay, Argentina, Chile.
So that's the
Argentina and
indigenous.
Chile.
all Latin stuff.
Is that 10%? Wow. So I am.
10.2.
So I am Latino.
Yeah. You have
European.
none in Brazil. What? How's that possible?
I'm telling you, Mama.
9.8% 3 or more ethnicities,
Which is Mauritania, Mali, Senegal, Guinea.
So basically just a lot of African.
Congo.
Okay. He's American.
He's gonna have Italian for sure.
He's good. Oh, for sure. 10%.
More than half.
49%
Because if you
yours.
have
11%. And you also Spanish. Hello.
Okay, let's open it, Nikki. This is so cool. Actually, I can't wait to see our relatives because we have matches. You know, we can look later for the matches. This is a
Tell us about them, though.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Just a in passing sort of mention at least. But yeah, with My Heritage, hopefully they would get really good matches of people that are still living in South America, and that would be great to see, you know, what their match list looks like. Obviously, we're not going to, you know, I know that's a difficult thing, you know, because you're seeing people's names and it's hard to kind of blur that stuff out and all that. But if you are from South America and you've done My Heritage, comment below how many matches do you have in your match list. And honestly, anyone else, if you've done a DNA test at My Heritage, where's your ancestry from and what kind of numbers are you getting in your match list?
Let's go.
Henrique's ethnicity. Maybe he's
Okay, Hickey, look at the globe. No.
more like you.
38%. 31.
Pretty close.
Both of us.
See?
Certainly makes sense with what they got.
What is that?
How cool is that? This split, right?
What?
That's like how that's like you.
That's amazing, my love.
It's also like you.
Wow. You're Latino, my love.
Okay.
38.6% Iberian, so Spanish.
Spain, like daddy. 31.5 Italian. Okay. 9.9.
Yeah, I mean, basically the results kind of ended up coming out a little bit more like him. The only thing that the baby's not getting that I guess I would expect maybe the baby to get a little bit, but maybe it's just not true ancestry and it is just weird stuff going on, was that Balkan readings that she had at 24.4% or whatever. Whatever's happening here, it seems like it is, you know, the baby's getting much more along the lines of what the father has, but definitely the mixture of what the mom has too from those kind of same areas. So obviously not really telling much other than, you know, what you can kind of expect is, you know, each generation goes down in these results.
9% North and West European, Germany and Austria, like me.
Wow, cool is that?
8.4% North African, like you. Tunisia, Algeria, Libya, Egypt. We both have Egypt, though.
That's so
Morocco.
cool, no?
11.6% 3 more ethnicities, Guatemala, Ecuador, Argentina, Bolivia, Paraguay. 38.6% against 31.5%. So we're like pretty close.
Very close.
So you really are next.
Nikki, that's amazing. This really makes us feel more connected to our family history, and seeing it passed down to Enrique, it's very special to me.
I know. I think we should travel to all these places one day to show Enrique his ancestors.
That would be amazing.
Right? At least Italy, Spain, we have to go.
Oh, for sure we have.
Okay, that was a so-so video. Pretty interesting results, I will say, for both of them. Maybe I'm just kind of misremembering what I saw with a lot of the Brazilian results that I've seen, but I feel like I saw more of kind of a hodgepodge of the indigenous American in there. And for both of them, they seem to have quite a small amount. But maybe I'm just, you know, maybe they're just from that population of Brazil that is much more of a European sort of admixture. Granted, I think for most that I've seen, it usually is going to be that Iberian reading. And then the Italian, I guess, does seem to be quite prevalent amongst the Brazilian results as well. Just such a shame that they didn't show more about the DNA matches, because that would have been absolutely awesome. Well, if you enjoyed this reaction and you'd like to see more just like it, be sure to check out this video of mine right here. Thank you to my Patreon patrons and YouTube members.